Hi friends! So we're in the sixth week, hard to believe, sixth week of talking about lessons that we learn in pursuing vision. Specifically, lessons I learned in writing my book, Finding Simplicity. So today I want to talk to you about keeping your focus and not allowing other people to put their priorities on you. I remember a couple months ago, I heard from, actually probably about a year ago, from a speaker named Carey Newhoff, and he was doing a coaching group with some leaders from our church, and he was talking about how all the time everybody else is trying to put their priorities on you. So everybody has their own vision and agenda and direction that they're going, and if you're not careful, you will be so distracted by all the things that everybody else is doing that you'll never get to the vision that God has for you. I think this is true when it comes to priorities, but there's a lot of other distractions in life too. Honestly, I distract myself so often. In my head, I'm thinking all these things and going all these directions. Finances can distract us, health can distract us, family problems can distract us. There is no end to the distractions. So if we're going to make a vision happen, if we're going to follow God all the way, we have to keep putting our priorities to the forefront, and we have to deal with the distractions or minimize the distractions in order to do that. Let's look to the book of Nehemiah and see how Nehemiah dealt with this. So in chapter 5, a new type of distraction is introduced. In the other chapters, we see these enemies of God's people coming out and attacking or saying negative things to Nehemiah and the crew building the wall. This time, though, the distraction comes from within. It's the people on Nehemiah's team, the ones who are building the wall with him. And there's this great outcry from some people mistreating other people financially. And it says when Nehemiah heard this in verse 6, he was angry at this outcry and these words. So this problem is so big that he feels this sense of anger, and he deals with it. Instead of pretending like it's not there or going on his own way, he deals with the distraction and he moves forward. In verse 16, it says he applied himself to the work. And it says all the people, they chose not to buy any land, and all the servants were gathered there for the work. So basically he had to put everything in. He was all into the project that God called him to do. And when distractions came and frustrations came, he dealt with it, worked through it, but he didn't allow that to stop him from doing what God called him to do. I think of the things that I faced in the process of writing a book. I had some major health challenges that made me want to just stop. I switched careers midway through the book writing process, and again, was overwhelmed and had a lot to process through that. But I had to make a choice. Did I know that this was what God called me to do? And for me, it was a clear yes. And so I had to choose, instead of letting the things that are all around me set my priorities, I had to let God set my priorities, and I had to set the right priorities and keep putting one foot in front of the other until I saw the vision that God had come to pass. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. Know what God's called you to, and then stick with it. Don't allow other people to stop you, and don't allow the discouragements of life to stop you. Distractions are going to come. That's a fact of life. But how you choose to deal with those distractions is going to determine where you go in life and what God accomplishes through you.